in going through my gear, I realized that I did not have a footprint for my tent, nor do they make one for my tent. I'm using the Teton Sports Outfitter XXL tent. You've seen me use it in the past with the cot and stuff like that. I'm going to be packing it in just the tent, and I wanted to have a footprint for it. Most footprints I found range around $50 to $75, and I didn't want to have to spend $50 on a footprint if I didn't have to. So I did some research and saw that a bunch of guys on YouTube are making their own footprints very simply. Followed what they were doing and did a little bit more research, and think I can kill two birds with one stone. First thing you're going to need if you want to do this for yourself is you're going to need a grommet kit. I got a grommet installation kit here from Harbor Freight, 103 piece, $3.99. Very simple, has everything you need in there. Then I went to Home Depot and got 120 square feet of 6mm black plastic. You can get clear plastic if you want, but black I think seems to work better for what I'm looking for. I should have enough here if things go as well as I hope to make a footprint for my tent and also give me enough for an emergency shelter. I don't have an emergency shelter yet for my kit, and I want to make sure that I do have it. Anybody that's hunted Colorado can tell you that thunderstorms can come up at a moment's notice, and I want to be protected as best I can be in a thunderstorm, and at least keep the rain off of me and maybe the wind. So that's all you're going to need. This one cost with tax $18. You might be able to find it for $16, $15, but with tax it was 18 bucks. So altogether I'm about $24, $23, and that's less than half of what a normal footprint costs. And I'm going to get two things out of it. So let's see what happens. This should be a really simple project. I got my tent on the left, I've got my trekking poles for the emergency shelter, the grommet kit, sharp knife, and the plastic. So let's get this tent set up first and make sure we measure everything out right. Got the tent set up here. You'll notice that these ends here, they're just molded plastic. They're going to fit right into the end of that grommet. They're 1/2-inch grommets, so they should fit just right. The tent's very maneuverable, but it does have a very thin bottom, so I am glad that I'm putting this together. Let's roll out this black plastic, get it lined up, and see how it measures. Well, as you can see, I'm going to have more than enough for an emergency shelter and for my footprint. So now that I've got the whole thing laid out, grab this tent, I'll lay it down here and we'll do some measurements. Alright, now first thing I'm going to do, now that I've got my tent on here, is I'm going to cut just around the tent. I'm going to leave about 3 inches on either side and see if we can get everything to line up just the way we need to, and then I'm going to set the grommets one by one and go around. Shouldn't take me very long at all. I'm using a very sharp but old knife for this, just so that I can cut exactly how I want. And then I'll go and use some scissors to fine tune everything. So there's that for the footprint itself. You can move this over to the side, and we'll turn this around so you can see it. One of the things I failed to mention is you're going to need a hammer and a block of wood for this as well. So real easy. Gonna line up this Get this piece of wood under here. We're going to set our first area for the grommet. And give it another good whack there. And cut that hole right out. Looks like it's time to put some more oomph into it. There we go. Punch that hole right out of there. There. First hole made. Now we're gonna get this grommet set. So, get the bottom grommet tool here. Set this bottom grommet on there. Set the top in this tool. As you can see, I just hammered a little too hard on there and I cut right through the plastic, so I'm going through and I'm going to redo it, and I'm going to be a little bit more careful and use a little bit more finesse. Alright, I got my second hole in there. Now we're going to try this. Try not to cut right through. There we go. One more tap. Okay, so here's the first hole where I used all my manliness and punched through there. You really only have to tap on the grommets. You can see there's a good one. Even if it's a little bit loose, who cares? As long as it fits right in the hole. So that's what I've got. That one fits perfect. You can see I went to each corner here. I did the opposite corner first over here. And I've got this one done. It's all locked in there. And you can see I've got a little excess going all the way around. I'm going to trim off probably 2 inches all the way around here. I'm going to put my rain fly on, because the one thing you want to make sure of is that you don't have the footprint longer than where the rain fly is. Otherwise you're going to get a nice puddle of water underneath your tent. Okay, so let's play around here and see what we can come up with. I've got the rain fly on now. Opening's right there. And if you look on either side, the rain fly comes down right to the edge. So I basically have to trim this pretty close to make sure that that it's not going to be dripping water down. Fortunately, I can pull these out a little bit, and hopefully that saves me in the long run. But this do-it-yourself kit is going to be much better than having nothing at all. Alright, well there you have it, folks. I trimmed off a bunch of the excess here, and now I've got myself a footprint for my tent. And I've still got plenty left over for my do-it-yourself emergency shelter, which I will build next.